If you are thinking about buying a new home, you might want to think twice, because what the builder isn't telling you could cost you thousands and thousands of dollars and leave you with a home full of surprises. In this video today, I am going to expose top reasons why new construction isn't always the dream buyers expect. And I'm also going to share at the end, so you want to stick around, 5 critical tips to protect yourself if you decide to go this route. Trust me, this is information that you want to hear and you won't hear from the builder's reps, and you need to know about it before you sign anything. So one of the biggest misconceptions about new construction is the base price is it's really just a starting point. So when you walk into that model home, it is designed to impress you. But what you see is not what you get. That gorgeous kitchen, those high-end flooring, custom lighting, all of that is an upgrade with the intent of showing you things that once you see it, you can't live without it. So the question is how much more will you spend than that base price? Well, on average, buyers spend 20 to 30% more than the base price, adding the features that they actually want. And some buyers can spend tens of thousands of dollars just to make the home feel minimally livable according to their own standards. Could mean upgraded flooring so you're not stuck with builder grade carpet or the base grade tile that they put in the house. Choosing a functional kitchen, bath finishes, which is where most of the money is spent in a home. Or adding necessary electrical and lighting, because that recessed lighting and those ceiling fans often are not included in that base price. In addition, some other costs that might surprise you that you may not be thinking about. Window coverings and blinds, depending on your selections, could end up costing you thousands of dollars. Landscaping and fencing generally are not included in the builder base price. And appliances. Appliances usually include the builder grade appliances that the builder puts in the house. But expectations for consumers today generally are for higher end finishes and appliances. So you can expect to spend a couple of $1,000s more than what the builder said could be significantly more than that, depending on what your choices are. And here's the kicker. Many of those upgrades, they're not going to add additional dollar for dollar resale value to your home, because when you do go to sell your home is still going to be compared to comparable sales in the community and not compared to the amount of money that you spent on upgrades. But the upside is this. You get to personalize a home exactly the way you want, and if you plan on staying in that home for an extended period of time, it may be worth your while to spend the money on the upgrades so that you can have the home that you've been dreaming about. Plus, when you buy a new home, you don't have to worry about repairs anytime soon because everything is brand new. But if you are buying new construction, please go in with eyes wide open, knowing that the base price is just the starting point, and have an expectation for how much money you might be willing to spend in addition to that base price. All right, guys, the next thing to consider is the builder's contract is written to favor the builder, not you. This is an important one because this is where buyers can make really, really costly mistakes. Now, unlike when you buy a resale property, when there are protections for both the buyer and the seller, a builder's contract is written to protect one party, and that's the builder. And trust me, they have spent a lot of time and a lot of legal resources to make sure of that. You have less control than you think. When you sign a builder's contract, you're agreeing to their terms, not the standard real estate agreement as I mentioned previously. The deadlines are strict, and they benefit the builder. If you miss a financial deadline, you could lose your deposit. Delay closing, you might be looking at daily financial penalties. Inspections don't work the same way either. Many builders can limit what you can expect, and sometimes they can even prevent you from hiring your own inspector before closing. And if those issues come up before you close, good luck negotiating repairs. Also, financing can be tricky. Like many builders, they push their in-house lenders. Sometimes they offer incentives to use them, but if rates change or the lender denies you at the last minute, you really could lose your deposit or your contract altogether. Can you just cancel if you change your mind? Not so fast. Unlike resale contracts, which offer contingencies for financing, inspection, Appraisals. Builders' contracts are designed to make it very difficult for you to walk away. If your life situation changes or the home is not delivered as you expected, you might be stuck. And if you try to back out, you can expect steep financial penalties or even lawsuits from the builder. So the question is how do you protect yourself? Well, this is where having experienced representation can be a game changer for you. A real estate agent who understands new construction and builders' contracts can help you to understand what you're signing before you sign it, before it's too late, negotiate better terms, such as flexible deposits or even additional protections, and advocate for you when issues do come up, ensuring that you're not left unprotected. The potential upside is this. The biggest benefit to the builder's contract is if you understand the contract, you can use it to your advantage. I am not saying that builders are out to take advantage of the consumer. Some contracts can allow for pre-negotiated upgrades, extended warranties, special financing options, but you need to know about them beforehand or what to ask. And this is where having someone in your corner who is not working for the builder can save you thousands and help you to avoid some very costly mistakes. All right, so the next concern for buyers of new construction is that quality control is not what it used to be. This is a big one, guys. It's important to understand that just because a home is brand new does not mean that the home is flawless. In fact, in today's market, with many large-scale builders, corporate builders, they're more focused on speed and profit than they are on craftsmanship and attention to detail. And the real kicker is, not all parts of the property are built by the same people. They work with different subcontractors to handle the framing, electrical, plumbing, drywall, finish work. Some of the contractors are great, but others are not so much. Now, when builders are churning out homes faster than ever, mistakes are inevitable. You might run into rush construction, shorter build times mean fewer quality checks, inconsistent craftsmanship. Some parts of the home may be solid while other areas might be lacking. And many surface level fixes, look, if it's covered with paint or trim, many builders might not take the time to fix it properly. The reality is looks can be deceiving. That gorgeous model home that you walk through is not the home that you end up purchasing. Once you move into the house, you might start to notice maybe some crooked walls, uneven flooring, or sloppy paintwork. You might find doors that don't close properly or cabinets that are not properly aligned. And another big one is an HVAC system that weren't fully tested before you close and they don't heat or cool properly. And once you close on the property, the people that built your house are not the ones who handle the warranty claims. You're going to be dealing with an entirely different department, and getting some of those fixes can be a long, frustrating process. This is why, before you go to close on your home, skipping a pre-closing inspection on the property is not an option anymore. The builder won't tell you what's wrong. In a lot of cases, you need to find out for yourself. The best way to protect yourself is with a third-party pre-closing inspection and have it documented before you close. Once the deal's done, the builder's priorities will shift. So get it done, get it right before you sign closing papers. The next concern is that you potentially could be living in a construction zone for years. When you buy a brand new home, you're expecting peace and quiet, and what you don't sign up for is waking up to the sound of jackhammers, nail guns, trucks beeping as they back up in the street every single morning. But the construction doesn't stop because you moved in. Most buyers assume that when they get the keys, they're living in a finished community, and that's not even close. Depending on the size of the development, you could be dealing with ongoing construction traffic with dump trucks, delivery vehicles, workers' trucks constantly passing through, endless noise, as I mentioned, from construction activity, hammering, heavy machinery, from sunrise to sunset, dust and debris everywhere. You can expect to have layers of dirt coating your windows, your car, your outdoor furniture. And let's not forget the unexpected surprises, all those unwanted guests. Look, the land is cleared for development. It disrupts local wildlife and pests, and you might start to notice snakes slithering through your yard, ants, roaches, other subterranean pests. They appear more frequently. You might see wildlife scavenging through because their habitat has just been turned up into your new neighborhood. And if that's not enough, construction zones are full of loose screws, nails, and debris, and many homeowners in new communities frequently end up with flat tires just driving through the community. The question is how long is that going to last for? Builders don't finish all their homes at once, and if the market slows down, they may even pause development altogether, leaving you in a half-built development with no clear timeline for completion. If you are thinking about buying in a new development, find out how much longer construction is going to last. Otherwise, be prepared to live in a perpetual work zone with constant noise, dust, and disruptions for years to come. All right, so let's talk about the hidden fees or the unexpected fees that you're not budgeting for, like property taxes, HOA fees. CDD fees can be much bigger than you expect. Look, when you're budgeting for a new construction home, most buyers, they focus on the mortgage payment, but what really catches them off guard are the property taxes, the HOA fees, the CDD fees, and let's not forget lot premiums, where even the most basic lot in the community could come at a surprising extra cost. Like your property tax bill, your bill's going to go way up because before your home is built, the land is assessed at a much lower rate because it's raw land. But once the home is completed, the county assessor is going to reassess your property and your tax bill is going to jump up big time. Many buyers, they can get an initial estimate of what their current land assessment is, not knowing that it doesn't include the full home value. So your first tax bill can be a real shocker. HOA fees, they are not always what they seem to be because many builders keep the HOA fees artificially low in the early phases of the development, but once that builder is done and shifts control to the homeowners, those fees can skyrocket to cover costs like landscaping and maintenance, community amenities, whether you use them or not, and reserve funds for those unexpected expenses. And the kicker is once you move in, you are stuck with whatever the HOA decides. CDD fees, that hidden tax that nobody tells you about. Here in Florida, we have community development districts that help to fund roads, utilities, and amenities in new communities. And instead of the developer paying these fees up front, these costs get passed on to you as an extra line on your tax bill, sometimes for decades. And it's like paying a second mortgage, except for the fact that they don't go away until the bonds are paid off. And the last thing is lot premiums, a hidden cost that really can add up fast. Want a better location in the community? Look, even the most basic lots have a premium attached to it. In luxury developments, lot premiums can range anywhere from $20,000 to $500,000 or potentially even more, depending on your lot choice. So before you assume that your base price covers everything, look at the fine print. You could be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars more just depending on the choice of lot that you have. Look, when you're buying new construction, you need to get a breakdown of all the costs up front. That way you are not blindsided by unexpected fees, higher taxes, or an outrageous lot premium that you've already committed to. All right, so let's talk about warranties and repairs because things are not as simple as you think. When you buy a brand new house, the home comes with warranties, so you think that you don't have to worry about anything, at least for the first year. I mean, buyers assume that you're getting a brand new home and you don't have to worry about the repairs. I mean, after all, everything is brand new, right? Well, the reality is that new homes have issues too. And when problems arise, the builder's warranty department is an entirely different experience than dealing with the sales rep or the construction manager that you work with initially. The warranty department is a whole different animal. Once you close on the home, that builder's rep, they're gone. Now you're dealing with a separate warranty department that their job is to minimize the builder's expenses, not fix your home according to your timeline. And this potentially could mean long waits for repairs, sometimes months, limited coverage, not everything's going to be covered, and denials over normal settling issues instead of actual fixes. There are some buyers out there that end up hiring their own contractors because the warranty process can be so frustrating. Cosmetic issues, you have a window, but you have to remember. Builders offer up to a 1 year for cosmetic defects, but here's the catch. They're not going to remind you, so those drywall cracks, those paint imperfections, flooring defects, If you forget to schedule your 11th month warranty review, you can miss out on your chance to get these issues addressed before the coverage expires. There are also some issues out there with structural issues that you might be in for a fight. Major structural issues like foundation cracks or roof problems, they should be covered under the builder's long-term warranty. But getting them to honor it could be another battle entirely. Some homeowners end up in legal disputes that just to get those repairs done correctly. Look, a builder's warranty is not the same as a home with no issues. You must do the inspection before you close and document everything, because once you've signed, now you're on their timeline, not yours. So the next concern with new construction homes are the resale challenges. Look, buying a new home might sound exciting, but what happens if you decide it's time to sell? If you're thinking your home automatically is going to appreciate, you could be in for a rude awakening. When you decide to sell, if the builder is still developing in your community, you're in for some stiff competition, because buyers can purchase a brand new home from the builder, picking out their own finishes and customizing the home to their liking. Builders also offer financing incentives like rate buydowns or closing cost assistance, the option to upgrade their home, which makes their product more attractive than your resale. And your slightly used home now looks second best to that brand new build or custom options that the buyer selected for themselves. And unless your home is significantly cheaper, many buyers are going to opt for that new build, and you're going to be stuck with the task of getting your home sold, often for less than you expected. Now let's say that the builder is done developing in your area. You're no longer competing directly with the builder, right? Well, that might not be the case either, because in many cases, there's multiple buyers that bought around the same time that you did, and when you decide to sell, it often happens in waves. So if you think that your home is unique, guess what? Many of your neighbors have homes that are almost exactly like yours. It means is that multiple homes with nearly identical floor plans can flood the market at the same time. Buyers are looking at multiple homes with the same finishes, same layouts, and the same location. Price becomes a deciding factor. And if your neighbor's home is priced lower, guess what? They get the offer, not you. It could lead to a price battle, a price drop battle. As your home sits on the market, you and your neighbors keep lowering the price to make your home more attractive to the same pool of buyers. You can see where this is going. If you're selling in a community with many similar homes, the competition can be fierce. Look, if you were planning to sell your home in the first 3 to 5 years, understand that you may be competing against a builder or a flood of similar homes. This could mean a longer time on the market and potentially less profit than you expected. All right, so let's talk about timing and delays in new construction. When you buy new construction, timing can be a huge factor, and unfortunately, it's often out of your control. In a perfect world, your home is going to be ready exactly when it's promised, but the reality is construction timelines often get pushed back, and here's why. Weather issues can delay work. Labor shortages, supply chain disruptions. It can lead to delays in everything you need for your home. Local governance approvals and inspections can take longer than expected, and that also can push back your closing date. The end result is you can end up being in a temporary space longer than you planned. You may have to extend the lease if you're renting, creating more stress and uncertainty. Even after construction begins, there's no guarantee that things will be completed on time. You might expect to move in by a certain date, but in reality, you could end up waiting for weeks or months longer than you anticipated. Delays can be frustrating, especially if you've already sold your home that you're currently living in and you're waiting for specific timelines in order to move forward with your life plans. Builders' promises and expectations may not necessarily align with reality, and you could be stuck dealing with the fallout. It's important to make sure that you plan for delays and be flexible with your expectations. While builders do their very best to stick to timelines, things happen, and you might find yourself waiting longer than you had initially anticipated. All right, so let's take a moment and talk about the HOA, giving up control for the community. When you purchase that new home in a planned community, you're buying into a lifestyle, but that comes with a new set of rules, and this is where the HOA or the Homeowners Association comes in. The HOA exists to preserve the community's appearance, the amenities, and really the overall atmosphere. They establish rules from everything from lawn maintenance to how your home should look. And while it might help ensure that your neighborhood maintains a certain aesthetic appeal and value, it means you give up some of the control over your property. As a homeowner, you're going to be required to follow all of the HOA rules whether you like them or not. And these rules could include things like restrictions on the color of your front door, or whether you can add a fence, limitations on the type of vehicles that you have in the driveway, specific requirements on how to maintain your lawn, or even the type of tree that you plant. And don't forget, if you don't comply with these rules, the HOA has the power to fine you and take action against you. You may love the idea of having a community pool, fitness center, or walking trails, but here's the catch. You're going to be paying for them whether you use them or not. HOA fees can range from hundreds to a few $1,000s a year depending on the community. And these fees are in addition to your mortgage and property taxes, and they often increase over time. Before you sign on the dotted line, make sure that you read the HOA documents carefully, because you need to understand what the rules, the fees, the regulations, knowing what you're getting into and how it's going to affect your lifestyle, because once you move in, you're bound to these rules and fees for as long as you live there. Okay, so let's talk about the surrounding neighborhood, the lifestyle that you're buying. When you purchase a new build, many buyers focus on the community amenities, the home features, and the neighborhood's overall vibe. But here's the catch. The lifestyle that you're buying is not just limited to the community. It extends beyond the gates too. It's easy to get excited about the well-maintained streets, the community rules, and the idealized vision that's presented to you by the builder. But what about what's going on beyond those gates? The neighbors beyond the perimeter of the community are the ones that you're going to be living with, and they may not be as well aligned with your vision of that perfect neighborhood. Their lifestyle, noise levels, maintenance habits, and general appearance of their properties, they may not match the controlled, curated environment of your community. The communities often come with HOA rules and regulations that ensure a certain consistency within the neighborhood. However, those rules don't extend past the borders of the development, and homes outside the community likely don't follow the same guidelines. And you may encounter properties that don't meet your expectations in terms of upkeep and style. And living next to a community that doesn't share your values could lead to some frustration down the road. Before you commit to a new construction home, it is essential to not only know the community that you're living in, but also take a look at the surrounding neighborhood. While your new home and the amenities may seem perfect, ensure that the larger lifestyle is one that you're comfortable with as well. Your neighbors beyond the gates may play a bigger role in your day-to-day life than you realize. All right, so if you are deciding to move forward with purchasing new construction, a newly built home, there are things that you need to consider beyond just the right floor plan or the color scheme. I'm going to give you here 5 essential tips that can help you to ensure that you make a smart investment and help you to avoid some of the common pitfalls for new construction home buyers. Number 1, be aware of the builder incentives. Look, many builders out there offer incentives like reduced closing costs or discount points if you use their in-house lender or title company. But you have to be careful because these incentives often come with strings attached. For example, using the builder's preferred lender might mean higher costs for the mortgage if you decide to use them. You always have to read the fine print and weigh the total costs, including those incentives, and how it impacts the overall deal. Number 2, take the time to research the builder. Look, reputation matters. Builders can have a significant impact on your overall experience, from the quality of construction to the customer service after the sale. Do your homework, check online reviews, visit communities that they built, and if possible, talk to the neighbors. Social media and local forums can be a great resource from hearing from firsthand experiences. Just keep in mind to take them with a grain of salt because sometimes people have an axe to grind. Make sure that you're comfortable with the builder's track record before making your final decision. Number 3, if you agree to it, get it in writing. Never rely on verbal promises. If the builder or the salesperson assures you of certain features, upgrades, or terms, you need to get it in writing. Verbal agreements are difficult to enforce and can easily be overlooked or changed down the line. A contract is a legally binding situation. It's a legally binding contract, so ensure that every promise is documented in writing so that you can avoid any future misunderstandings. Number 4, by all means, please have your own representation. While it might seem tempting to work directly with the builder's sales representative, remember that their job is to represent the builder, not you. Having your own agent ensures that someone is looking out for your best interests throughout the entire process. An experienced agent can help you to negotiate better terms, spot potential red flags, and guide you through a complex paperwork, and in most cases, it won't end up costing you more than working with the builder directly, as the builder usually covers the costs of a buyer's agent's fee. Number 5, spend time getting to know the neighborhood and the community. When you purchase a new build, you're not just buying the house, you're committing yourself to a lifestyle. And it's essential to consider the neighborhood, not just the community amenities and the home itself. Explore the area. Check out nearby schools, services, traffic patterns. Spend time talking to current residents to understand what it's really like to live there. Your future neighbors and their lifestyle could significantly impact your own lifestyle. So, buying new construction really can be an exciting journey, but it requires some careful consideration. By working with an experienced professional, doing your research, and understanding all the terms, you can save yourself from some common pitfalls that can help you to make the right decision. Whether it's securing the best deal or avoiding costly mistakes, the right guidance really can make all the difference. If you are ready to explore your options and want expert assistance, feel free to reach out to me. Again, I'm Ed Grabowski, your local real estate professional here in the Sarasota area, helping you to have a better real estate experience. Appreciate your time, and I look forward to connecting with you very soon.